Okay, so for this lesson we are going to build something in ModelBuilder, export it to Python, and make sure that it works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download this final project zip compressed file. And basically this is the same data that we used when we created the in the earlier lesson where we were doing the site suitability analysis. And so I'm gonna just download this real quick, and so you should be familiar at least with the geographic, the concepts that we're working on there. So let's go ahead and unzip this thing. Alright, so I've created a folder called Final Project, and for whatever reason there's a project called Final Project in there. And basically it's the same geodatabase in here loaded twice. We're going to be doing some interactive processing, and so we need to be able to restore the geodatabase to its previous state. So I have this backup I'm going to call Final Longmont 1. It will remain unchanged, and all the work will be done in Final Longmont GDB. Okay, so let's go ahead and open ArcMap. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's open, let's open ArcCatalog. All right, and if we get in here, Final Project, and I have a geodatabase called Final Longmont.gdb. I've got my zoning, my rec center, my population ellipse buffered, final toolbox, and I have a model in here. Let's go ahead and look at this model by going into Edit. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but one of the first things that you did in the suitability analysis was we assigned ranks to zoning. So what we're going to be doing here, which this part has already been started for you, is Longmont zoning. We're going to load the Longmont zoning layer. We are then going to make a feature layer out of it. And remember, we do this because some of the tools only work on layers. They don't work on the native feature class themselves. It's the equivalent of loading it into ArcMap. Okay. Input features, Longmont zoning. And I think, let's see here, model properties. I had, yeah, the workspace is set up to be the workspace on my machine. Final project. So if things go wrong, you might want to make sure that you've checked to make sure the workspace that you're working in, the geodatabase, is the same as the same path that that I have. If not, change it to whatever yours is. Okay, so make a feature layer, and I'm going to go ahead and just run this just to make sure that it actually works. All right, so I've made a feature layer. So now I have a feature in memory of the zoning. And then I'm going to add a field, okay? Because remember, we had to do this. We added this field called zoning rank, and we were going to put some values in there based on a particular zone. So let's go ahead and do that. See if that runs. It does. It creates this output. Yeah. And if we want to, we can actually go over here to Longmont zoning, do a refresh on this geodatabase, and see if that field is actually there now. Click on table. Yeah, so the field is actually there. All right, I'm going to do, now you remember we had the those calc files that had a big block of Python code in it that had multiple if statements. This is not going to work when we export this from ModelBuilder. So the syntax gets really weird. Because it was relatively simple, we're going to accomplish the same thing in multiple steps. Here's the first step. Select layer. Okay, we're going to use this table that we've created, or layer that we've created that has the new field in it. We're going to create a new selection, and we're going to create this expression. And that expression is zone name is equal to business light industrial, or zone name equals commercial, or zone name equals commercial regional, blah 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 blah. Basically, you just do that by zone name equals, and then pick one of these, and make sure you put the or statement in there. We can verify that to make sure that that's valid syntax. We'll click OK, and we'll click OK. All right, just a second. I don't know if you remember this zone rank if.cal file that we had. It basically has this code block in it. If zone name is one of these things, then we're going to return 5. And if it's one of these things, then we're going to return 4, else we're going to return 0. So we're going to do this in 3 separate select statements. Okay, and this is the first one. So we've selected those. This is the selection. And then we're going to run the calculate field tool on it. We're basically selected zones as our input, zoning rank. And what we're going to do is, for the zoning rank field, we're going to set all of those ones that are selected equal to 5. Right? The expression type, make sure the expression type is set to Python. All right, so if we do this, if we run it, that runs successfully. And then if we run this, that also says it ran successfully. So if we were to come over here and look at our zoning, let's see, if we refresh the database, Longmont zoning, we should see that some of these are set to the value of 5. And notice everything else is set to null. Sort descending, yes. And if you want to be real good about it, you should go over here and make sure and look at all the zone names and make sure that they are the correct ones that actually have a value of 5. Okay, so we have this. Now we can move on and make this model more complicated, and we may later. But right now I want to talk about getting this thing into Python, see what it looks like there, and see if we can get it to run in Python, because it's not, strictly speaking, perfect. Okay, we'll do that in the next video.